Fashion Dolls, it is Thankful Thursday, May 15th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is a music artist, and I'm super excited to have her here in the dollhouse with me. Please welcome to the dollhouse, and this also makes interview 799. Tomorrow we will be at episode 800, and I'm super excited. And I want to say to each and every one of you, thank you all so much for your love and unconditional support. So without further ado, let me go ahead and send her this live so that we can add her and we can jump right into this interview. So without further ado, Fashion Dolls, let's welcome to the dollhouse, Lisa Kovacs. Hi, Alvin. Hi, everyone. Hi, Fashion Dolls. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I had to get my guests right so that we can get her in here. I feel like Princess Jasmine, all this blue and then this hair makes it so fabulous. So I had to come through. Without further ado, Fashion Dolls, let's welcome our very special guest to the dollhouse here, Lisa Kovacs. And we're back. Hello? Oh,
Oh,
hello.
finally, we got this going on.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to the dollhouse. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, it's great to be here finally connecting, and thank you for having me today, Stevie.
You are so welcome. How has 2025 been for you so far before we kick off this combo?
Well, is it okay if I keep the angle like this, or do you want me to turn it the other way?
If if you're
Like that?
driving, perfect. Right there, vertical. That's it.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
driving. I actually stopped the pedicure, and then I'm gonna go have the nails painted, and then I'll come back. But it's been going good. It's been a positive year so far, and feeling great about the music and the interviews and getting everything out there. And did a show recently and finished up a record. And I'm starting to think about going back in the studio to record a song I never recorded before called Yellow Cars.
Oh my goodness. And one of my favorites of yours is Bluebird. That's one of my favorites. Hence
Oh,
why I wore blue today
oh
in
my gosh, I
celebration of your
love
song.
that.
Yes.
I
I
love
told
that.
the audience I feel like Princess Jasmine, this hair, everything, and then your song Bluebird, so it correlates perfectly.
Yeah,
But
especially with the
I
blue
wanted
nails.
Yes, 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 yes. And I'm going to stop you because I love what you just said, which is self-care. You said I'm getting my pedicure. And that was one of the questions that I wanted to ask you as well too, as an artist, as a singer. What methods of self-care do you indulge in? Because I know for me, I love to get my hair and my nails done. I love to get massages. I love to read. I love to write. So what methods of self-care that you indulge in before heading on stage and performing? Because you also have a band as well too, which we'll get into.
Okay, yeah. Well, self-care, getting enough, sleep, 8 to 9 hours of sleep, eating healthy, taking walks. I have a baby puppy who's a year and 3 months now named Billy. He's the love of my life. He's so cute. I'll have to send you a picture.
Please do.
And
I have one too. I have a poodle, and she
oh,
just went yesterday to the groomers. And I have my phone. My phone is out there charging, but she looks amazing. They put a little tie around her neck like a little scarf, and oh, my baby. Her name is Coco, and she's only
I was
5 years
just,
old.
yeah, I was just going to ask you what color? What color's Coco?
She's black, and then around her chest area is like she's got some white and then like some brown. She's so beautiful. Like her color is what draws people into her because they've never seen a poodle that color before. And when she got cut, she came back. We could see everything on her. Whereas before, because when you let their hair grow back so much, she was fluffy all over. Fluffy all over.
Oh, I
So
love it.
they had to do the ears, they had to do her tail, and then they painted her paw, the nails on her paws as well too. So they got them black. My mom would have preferred color, like how my nails are colored, like you said, with blue. She wanted color on her nails. So
That
yes,
is so awesome. Yeah, my baby boy's got a white spot too. But getting back to, the self-care, it's important, y- before I go on stage, I like to like center myself, have a calm quietness after I vocalize too, because I studied voice for 8 years and I try and, do the warm-ups and, but the object is to go out there and have fun and give back to everybody what God gave me, the gift of writing music and doing music.
absolutely. And Lisa, when I tell you your voice is saving people, and I tell this to musicians
Oh,
all the time, your your voice is therapy to people because there's so many people that go through so many problems in the world, and we can just put on a song. Like for me, like I said, Bluebird is one of my favorite songs. It's one of my favorite songs
really?
from you because it sends me to
Oh,
a place, and a lot of artists are not able, some artists are able to send me to a place I've never been before. Music is supposed to be an escape for the actual
yes.
consumer because we go through so many problems, work, you've got children, get the children from school, all of these things, but we put on a song and a song takes us to a place that we've never been before. That's what Bluebird done has done for me.
Oh, that makes me so happy because it is an uplifting song. The bluebird in the sky, she really wants to fly. Trust and I will show you. And the band, those guys that played with me, I feel so fortunate. Some of them toured with the Temptations, Chicago, Nile Rodgers. I mean, I feel so blessed and grateful to have them on my record.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's
music is
wild. It's wild.
everywhere. You've toured while all the while living in New Jersey, touring northern New Jersey and New York. You've been in the New York area for over 10 years, and it spans your music is everywhere, and it is making an impact, and it is important and key that we continue to support our artists. And by you, Lisa, you are providing medicine to people because it's a lot of female artists, yourself included, that I look to for relaxation in music that take me to a space I've never been before. And Tori Amos is one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Tori Amos. Love her. I love Sade. I'm a big Sade fan.
Me
Um,
too.
yes, and they take Sade when she performs. She gives you goosebumps, and then watching her music videos as well too. Because when she first hit the scene, which was what in the 80s, when she
Yeah.
first came out, people were like, "Who is this woman? Who is she?" She's gorgeous. You're watching her music videos, you're seeing the band, but it's something mysterious about her. The same for Tori Amos. It's something
Mhm.
mysterious about her as well too. Fiona
Yeah.
Apple is another one of my favorites. And I could go on and on. Beyonce. And I must say I'm gonna compare you to someone else that I also love and admire as well too with your songwriting. Diane Warren, the GOAT of
Oh my
writing
gosh.
ballads.
That's such
Diane Warren, you
a
represent
compliment. Thank
so much
you.
of her, so much of her because you both have a way of penning music that women can relate to, that people can relate to, but mostly women because we are women. We listen to the music and we feel free. Whitney Houston is another one of my. I love Whitney. I'm a big Whitney fan, but I had to give all of these women their flowers because they're in their lanes where they can heal people through music. And just putting on a song can take you back to a certain era. It can take you back to a certain place. Some people have gotten married to your music. Some people have listened to the music to help them heal. And we see stories about how music has helped people recover and wake up out of comas. These stories are powerful. But I compare you to Diane Warren because she knows how you both know how to sing from a place of heartache. You know how to sing from a place of pain, and people resonate with that. So that was going to be another question that I wanted to ask you, Lisa. How is it that being women, coming from a place where we're emotional, where we're vulnerable, and we're
Mhm.
sharing these bits and pieces of us with the world, where do you pull those layers from to put in your music?
Pull the lyrics, you said?
Where do you pull from those places to find to write for these lyrics that women and people can relate to?
Uh, that's a heavy question. The relationships, like all those lyrics I've lived. And, through the pain and the hurt, the despair, the love, the hopefulness, the um, attraction, all that's interwoven in there. And that's that's where it comes from. And I'm grateful for all those people that have been in my life, and gave me a song to write. Although there's been tears. And like Falling Away. Did you get a chance to hear Falling Away yet? Because that wasn't on the Bandcamp included one, but I can send it to you. The
Please
first lyrics,
do. There's
yeah. How
something
people
about your voice, Lisa. It is soothing, and the audience. I'm pretty sure whenever I recommend an artist, they will go directly to their artist's page. They will check it out and they will listen, because I made the comparisons to all of these amazing female artists because you have something also that sets you aside from all of them. Whitney had her formula. Sade had her formula. Tori Amos had her formula. Fiona Apple, who, I mean, ooh, I'm getting a feeling now about her
just
because she said,
saying
I've
it.
been a bad, bad girl. It's just like you feel that. You feel what these women are singing. And they pull from a place that is so personable, that is so vulnerable, that people can easily resonate with it and say, wow, I feel where she's coming from. Because I too know someone who's been in this situation. I too know someone who's also experienced this type of heartache, and it's personable to us because it helps us heal
Mm,
and get over the next layer, whether it's a breakup. And know a lot of people, when you're going through a breakup or just any part of your life that's like a dark period, you could put on a song and a song can take you to a place you've never been before. And I
mm.
must say that sometimes people choose to drink the pain away, they choose to smoke it away, they choose different outlets of coping and numbing with pain. But putting on that one song can help save their life and make them go back to the person that they used to be. So when
Oof.
I say I listen to Bluebird, and Bluebird has helped me become even freer to love and let love in and receive love. That's what your
Oh, that moves my
song has done for
heart.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's heavy, and I appreciate you recognizing, that I feel like I've got the point across, and it makes me happy because, one time I met Sarah McLachlan on a show, and you know, a friend was with me, and she said that her music got her through a lot of tough times, and tell you did you, tell you is a song. I don't know if you've heard it yet, but that's a song where I bet you a lot of people can relate to. It was actually the first song that came together for the words and the music and the words. And it's about falling in love with someone, but not being able to tell them, you know. And I think you might like that record. I think you might like that one.
I love music that helps me become free, and Bluebird and so many others of your masterpieces has helped people become free. And that's what it's about. Finding your space where you're at peace and you're free with yourself. And that's what music
Amen.
is supposed to
Amen.
do. It is supposed to make you feel a certain way. It's supposed to give you goosebumps. It's supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make you think. And like I said, my ritual is Sade, and I love Tori Amos as well too.
Have
Tori
you
Amos
ever
has a
seen
song
her?
called
Go ahead.
Charming
What was the song you
with
like?
her guitar, and what the similarities between both women, between both of you, is that you both play different instruments. And there's not a lot of singers that can do that. A lot of women singers that can play instruments and find that balance. The first one that I saw that was capable of doing that, I would have to say would be Sheila E. Pat Benatar is another
Mm.
one who's capable of doing that. Stevie
Who?
Nicks is another one who's
Oh,
capable of doing that. Stevie Nicks.
oh yeah, yeah.
And
Love her.
what I admire about all of these women is that they are able to find that balance in an industry that is so male dominated. They're just like, you're not going to take my voice from me. I'm here and I want to speak, and I have something to say to the people as well too. Just as well as you have something to say, I have something to say that can resonate with people also too. And that's what it's about, resonating with the people. Music is supposed to touch souls. And that's what you are doing. You are healing people.
Aw.
And I'd say also musicians are like doctors because you're administering medicine to people.
Mm.
You're, not physically like giving them medicine and writing prescriptions and things, but you are giving them something for the soul. You're giving them food for thought. You're giving them moments where they can sit in clarity and think. And that is what's vital to help people and save our lives. Like these stories we read where people miraculously heard a song and they woke up out of a coma based off of that song. And
Yeah,
you hear them,
truly
wow,
amazing. Truly amazing.
remarkable.
Have you ever been hearing Florence and the Machine? You know who else really was it? Well, one of my biggest inspirations, Alanis Morissette, and Florence and the Machine. I love her.
The dog days are over. That's how I got introduced to Florence Welsh. And I think that she is so dynamic when I heard it. It took me back to the 60s with the finger snapping on the song, and then you hear the bass and all the guitar. Because I pay attention to the instruments as well, too, not just the song overall, but I also pay attention to that background.
Yeah.
I pay attention to that guitar. I pay attention to that piano. I pay attention to all of the things. And I love how she also incorporates different instruments like the ukulele, all of them. There's a lot of artists that are capable of doing that. And we've seen them sing with an orchestra. And the orchestra will be louder than them, but their voice seems to overpower that orchestra as well too. And there's not a lot of singers that can do that. But you
Hmm.
have to have that skill and that craft, and it's called honing in your craft. And that was going to be another question that I wanted to ask you too, Lisa, is honing the craft. How important is that for the next generation of female artists that are following in your footsteps? Because you're a vet, you're an icon, and I'm honored to be sitting here with you. Again, Bluebird. Hence why I wore the blue dress, blue everything
I
today
love
because
it.
of
I
your
love it.
song.
Okay,
But
so
what advice?
honing.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, honing in your craft. That's a great question too. I studied piano 10 years and voice for 8, and then drums and guitar for 2. And people today, like if you really have your heart set on it and you really make your mind up to do it, you can do it. You just have to study. You have to have teachers, great teachers. You have to, like you said, pay attention and hone your craft and commit to it, and commit to doing the voice tapes or the guitar lessons, or you know and songwriting, very important, living your life so you can have something to write about. It all goes together. All goes together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I would also say to the next generation of women that are following in both of our footsteps, I would say follow your dreams, follow your heart.
Oh
Another one of my
yes, yeah.
favorite female singers in all time history as well would be Dolly Parton. And I love
Mm,
how Dolly Parton has taken country music and she's infused pop, she's infused a little bit of hip hop, she's infused all of these different
yeah.
sauces, shall I say, into the mix. And you're capable of doing that as well too. Like you've published a book of poems. You've published a book of poems, Lisa, and this is
Yes.
poems from singer songwriter, and you're writing from a place that is personable. So tell us a little bit about your book of poems.
Okay, yeah. My mom helped me like years ago type them up. I wrote them, she typed them. It was, you know, a surreal moment, because there are certain things I write about in there that it's little this, little that. Well, there's even a poem from my grandma in there. Well, anyway, make a long story short, I finally said I got to do this, and I put it out there. I had someone help me get, because I'm not computer literate, as you know, trying to get on for the interview. A friend of mine, Steve Berger, he said, I'll help you with this, and he got it in format. I self-published on Amazon, and I actually got to do a Barnes and Noble book, um, like a book show. And I was so gracious, because like 20 of my friends and family came out, and they supported me. And I think that the poems would help people also in their life, because they're from the heart and from experiences that we all go through.
And again, it goes back to the whole overall conversation, which is from the heart. That is personable. That is valuable to a lot of people. And shout outs to Alvin. Hi, Pure Lux. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Stevie Nicks, when you're sitting and you're writing, what do I want to put in my song? What do I want people to feel? Hi, Mick. Shout outs to my boss lady, Original Magazine
Hi,
UK. She says, hi, girl.
Mickey.
Hi,
Hi,
boss lady.
Mickey. Love her. My first conversation with her, I felt like I knew her for years. She's awesome.
She is a gem. She is truly a gem. And for her to put this interview together, because I said, Mick, I need some guests, because I had guests lined up, but I said, I want to I want to do something different completely. I had guests that backed out of the interview because they had another obligation. Of course, we're back in pilot season. A lot of shows are taking place. And she got you and she got James. And I said, I went and I listened to Bluebird. I went and I did my research. Lisa Kovacs. And Bluebird was the first song that popped up. And I went and I listened to that song. And again, it takes me to a place I've never been before. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said the same thing to you about this song in particular, which is about feeling free. You want to feel free.
Mhm.
You want to soar. You want to go and have open opportunity to live life to the fullest. And that's one thing that I tell people all the time, which is the power of manifestation and
Mm.
how it sets you free and how being vulnerable with people, being open, being transparent, being candid, all of these things can help people go a long way in life. And I have conversations like this. You said your mother helped you publish the book. And when you said mom, my mom means everything to me. And we're always
Aw.
having these conversations daily on what we can do to better each other. What can I do to help you out? And I'd say the key thing that we need right now in this world more than ever is your music to help
Oh.
heal and bring together, because that's what music does. It's supposed to bring people together through love, through unity, through all of the problems that we encounter. It can be personable to us, but we have more in common because we are all human beings at the end of the day. And the thing that sets us aside is it's our hair texture. It could be our style. It could be anything. But at the end of the day, what makes us even more in common is our sanity, our able to create, our able to be able to feel free, our able to be able to go after our passions and pursuits of what makes us happy. And that's what makes us individual in our own way. So the power of music, that's something else I wanted to discuss with you. And I can't keep Lisa Fashion Dolls because she's on an appointment, but I wanted to
Oh.
discuss the power of music and just the impact overall. What are something else do you want people to take away from your music? Because I know what I take away from it. I take away feeling free. I take away, as a woman, feeling vulnerable,
Mm.
being able to open my heart to love, being able to open my heart to explore. And I've seen, you guys have seen the movie with Julia Roberts where she is Eat, Pray, Love. I think it was with
Yeah,
Julia
yeah,
Roberts, where
yeah,
she
yeah.
goes on this journey and it's like, okay, self-discovery where you're taking a trip and you want to see all the parts of the world. I would say everybody needs to do that. We all need to get in tune and in touch with ourselves and figure out what we want to do to be better and what we can do to make sure. When we started this conversation off, Boss Lady, make if you watching, uh, the first thing I asked Lisa was, she says, okay, I'm getting a pedicure. I'm getting my nail. Self care is important and critical. And music is also a form of self care because it helps you relax. You put on a song, you go to the beach and look at the ocean. The ocean sometimes can be a great song for you as well too. The wind sometimes can be a song for you. Chimes can sometimes be a song for you. And so it's all about finding your element that works for you. So that was going to be another question
Yeah.
that I wanted to ask Lisa, which is the power of music. How do you
Yeah.
feel that the power of music can impact people and just bring them to a sense of awareness?
Okay, well, first of all, I do want to get back to real quick how you said about love. Like that, if
Mm,
someone said to me, what has been my goal? I always say to send the message of love and help people, And music has been so impactful. I mean, my dad had me listening to records down the basement like I was only maybe 6 years old. I was looking at the records, who produced it, who did this, who did that. And I know that through the many concerts I've been to in my life, including I've seen Sade. I was so blessed and fortunate to see Sade once, Tori Amos twice,
Oh,
Alanis Morissette 9 times. And when I'm at their shows, nothing else is going on. You're so in the moment of happiness and feeling and peace and love with that artist. And I believe that's the ultimate goal of what God wants us to do, like to live happy, peaceful, and be in the moment. It's and music, like you said, whichever song he or she connects to. I remember days when I was so young and I would hear a record that I loved and I'd have to go get that record and play it over and over and over and over again because it made me feel a certain way. So I feel you on everything that you're saying, Stevie, everything.
Lisa, you are a breath of fresh air, and the women you just named also too are a breath of fresh air. And I wanted to say thank you for giving a voice to love, for giving a voice to sound, for giving a voice to how we, the consumers, the listeners, like you said, when you're sitting at one of the concerts, you're sitting and you're watching Sade or Alanis or Tori or Fiona or Janet Joplin, who is another one.
Mm,
It's it's so many. I could go on and on. So many amazing women. Barbara Streisand.
mm,
They give you something to take away from one of their concerts, and that is to be present and in the moment. Sade doesn't really do interviews like that, and I've watched. She kind of does. She does interviews, but she doesn't really do interviews. And she is one I can tell you who focuses and hones in on her craft, because if it's one of her albums, which is one of my favorites, which is Love Deluxe, the Love Deluxe album does it
oh
for me.
yes.
From
Oh
start to
yeah.
finish. And I
Yep.
could put on a song from that album, and it takes me to a place I've never been before, as if I was sitting on a beach, just hearing the oceans. That's the type of effect that Sade has on you. Tori makes you sort of look into the outer lens. She makes you
Mm,
look, well, you know how they say the glass is half empty or the glass is half
mm,
full?
mm,
Tori makes you look through that glass. And if you go back and you watch the video for Crucify, where she's in the tub and you see the tub water coming, innovative. Tori had that effect. Um, the same for Florence and the Machine. Florence and the Machine and Tori Amos have the same effect, which is to make you look as if you were to have. You know how people say you've got a third
yeah.
eye, or you can
Yeah.
see it with your outer eye. And Madonna has a song called Bedtime Stories. And in that song, one of the lyrics is, I can't explain how I feel. I can't explain this
Mm,
feeling. If you go
mm-hmm.
back and you watch the Madonna Bedtime Stories music video, the art, the artistry, the visuals. Because as an artist, you have to pay attention to everything. Van Gogh was another
One
one.
of my
Frida
favorites.
Kahlo. Yeah. So
Yes.
when we talk about art and artistry, I believe that there is a subconscious as well as a conscious, and I believe that we should all tap into that inner circle. And Tori makes me do that
Absolutely.
because when I think of Sade, Sade is just like, okay, a breeze in the park. Tori makes you think and sort of just like, hmm, wow, this is different. What did I just watch? But I took
Yeah.
something away from it, which is we should not judge or prosecute people. We should just be free to love, be free to be open and have an open mind. And that's what some of Tori's music does. The same for Florence is innovative. Another artist that I could say that is capable of making you look at the artistry and the visual aspect of it would be Lady Gaga. And I think
Oh,
Tori
sure.
carved that path for Lady Gaga and the next generation of female artists that are just doing something innovative and vital
Yes.
and make people aware, to make you get the message across that you're going to get that message either way. And it can be through the music video, it can be through their words, a quote, anything. But listen to the lyrics carefully, digest that as if you took a bite out of life and take that in. And I would tell people all the time, live life through passion, because that's what these women want you to do. And Lisa, you have a way of doing it too. And it's easy because people catch the message and it is spot on. So it's just like, my God, the message is right there in your face. But sometimes it just takes people listening thoroughly
Mhm.
to the lyrics, going back and reading the lyrics. And that was another question I wanted to ask you because I know we're on a time crunch.
Mhm.
Uh, how important is it that people take heed to the message through music? Whether it's, I remember back in the days where artists would put the lyrics to the song in the album jacket. You would unfold the album
Yeah.
jacket and you would
Yeah.
see who wrote what, who co produced, whatever. I miss those days. So, what do you
Yes.
feel is that element that is missing that people need to take heed to as it pertains to the music?
Well, the music and the lyrics, they go hand in hand. And the music makes your body feel it, but the lyrics, I feel, make your mind work and try to figure out, what's this about and how am I relating to it. And when I'm in the recording studio, I want to make sure every word is heard clearly, so everyone can understand the song and know, and then take that song of mine and bring it and make it their own, you know, because it's about sharing and love and art. And yes, the lyrics are very important. I remember as a kid, getting that out, the album or the cassette, and trying to look at all the words. And now we have a computer, we can
Yeah,
do it. But it's very important. The lyrics are so important. That's a great point because, that delivers the meaning of the song with the music.
absolutely. Absolutely. And we're on a time crunch here, Fashion Dolls. I wish I could keep Lisa. I would love to bring you back this month. Not next season, but this month. I would love to have you back on the show. So I'm going to talk to Mick and we're going to squeeze it in the schedule. But Lisa,
That would be
before we go,
awesome. Yeah.
what are some gems that you would give to people? Because I know people are going through a dark period, a dark time in their lives, and they're just like, my God, how am I going to make it? How am I going to be at peace with myself? So much chaos going on in the world. How do I maintain my peace and my sanity? What are some gems that you would give them? And again, I give you this flower right here. You are a breath of fresh air that
Aw.
is a vessel to people, and you are helping people through your music. So, what are some gems that you would give to the audience?
Well, well, thank you for that, Stevie. I would say what one thing my mom told me, and I always took this and remember this: do something if you're having a sad or depressed day. Just at least one thing. If it's a bubble bath, going to look at a flower, listen to a song, watch a movie. Just do one thing that makes you really happy for the day, and know that God is going to get you through it. There's so many things going on in the world right now. Just connect, and talk to somebody about how you're feeling. um you know Nourish your body, get enough sleep, uh, make a new friend. We're never too old to make new friends. Do what you enjoy, and know that together we can get through this. We can move forward. And music
Absolutely.
music is, they say, God's second gift to us. And I think music, I it runs through my veins. I'm a music teacher also. I teach mostly piano, but my students have taught me so much over the years. They're a breath of fresh air to me. These little kids teach me things every day, and I just love it. I love it. I love their personalities, and I'm grateful for them.
Yes. Lisa, continue to be that vessel to help people. Continue to keep encouraging us because we need more of your voice. And we see Lady Gaga and Tori Amos and so many others that are using their voice to make an impact across the world. And the final thought that I want to give comes from J.R.R.
Oh,
Tolkien. And he says
wow.
this: it is not the strength of the body that counts, but the strength of the spirit. And when we talk about dwelling in the spirit and being the fruit of the spirit
Mm-hmm.
and being that vessel to
Mm-hmm.
help people, that is what's key. So continue to speak, use your power, use your strength that is there, and follow your heart. Listen to your heart. That's what I would tell people all the time. Your heart wouldn't lead you wrong, your intuition wouldn't lead you wrong, and your instinct won't lead you wrong. So that's what I would tell people today, Fashion
Aw,
Dolls.
I
So
love that. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, welcome, Lisa. It's a pleasure. And where can everyone follow you? Lisa's book of poems is out currently now on Amazon, so make sure you guys go and check it out. It's enough fruit for the spirit, and I tell people this all the time. We need fruit for the spirit and uh, just food for thought
Yeah, and
in general to help us move
yeah,
forward.
not to interrupt, but actually, real fruit. I mean, that's the sweetness of life. Like, fruit is so good and tasty. Curious, but what's your two favorite fruits, Stevie? What do you like?
I love apples and I love pineapples.
I love pineapple too, pineapple and grapes. And also, I wanted to mention real quick, everyone could find me on Bandcamp, Lisa Kovacs. I'm out there, a couple songs on Spotify, Lisa Kovacs Music, Lisa Kovacs YouTube. But this new release over the years, this is the first time I've actually released a full album, and it's on Bandcamp, Lisa Kovacs. So it's got eight, or I think eight songs on it, and I hope everybody enjoys it and takes some time out to relax with my music. And I so appreciate this interview. Mickey, I love you. Stevie, anytime you want me to come back, you're all right. You're awesome. Great
I would
taste in
love to have you come
music.
back. Yes, your sound is so similar. So I'm like, okay, she reminds me of this artist, this artist, this artist, this artist. And I had to put it all together. But the one that tops me that you remind me so much of is Diane Warren
Well,
because of
thank you for
your
that.
songwriting skills. Diane Warren knows how to pen some ballads, and you know how to pen some ballads that make people actually sit and think and listen. Again, what I said about Tori Amos and how she makes you think through that glass
Mm,
lens, you do the
mm-hmm.
same thing as well too. So
Well, thank you so much, Stevie. I had a great time.
are so welcome. Fashion Dolls, tomorrow is my 800th interview. And Girl Talk tomorrow with Nikki Brown and Hope Ellis. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. And again, check out Bluebird and check out Lisa's book of poems. It is out on Amazon. And I love you too, boss lady. Thank you so much for such a dynamic interview and conversation. And this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. You can head on over there and subscribe, and it'll also be here on the gram. And Lisa, I will send you a copy as well too.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for this opportunity, Mickey. Had a great time. I hope you all
You're
have
welcome.
a great rest of your day.
Yes, you too. And much love to each and every one of you fashion dolls. I love you all. Alvin, I see you. Tit for tat, this and that. We have a panel coming up this weekend. Make sure y'all tune in for that as well. Stay tuned. And so much more great things coming for all of us in the future. And I want you all to remember that. Again, I love you. Until next time, fashion dolls. Tomorrow. Take care.